Let's cross over now to Ontario, where we have Jason Unruhe, political commentator, who's here to give us more insight on the story. Mr. Unruhe, we listened to our guest in Beirut on what he thought about the incident that happened in the Lebanese capital. Give us your perspective on as to what happened. People, as we mentioned, want answers. The issue of mismanagement has been brought up time and again following the revelation that this amount of toxic substance was being stored in the heart of the Lebanese capital.
Well, frankly, this seems to be a massive political nightmare. It seems very much to me it's not a case of someone dropped the ball, but maybe nobody was paying attention to the ball to begin with. I mean, this almost seems like a perfect storm of things that could go wrong that would cause a situation like this. The boat was from a dubious source. Its destination is not entirely clear, which is dubious in and of itself. It came into the port. It shouldn't have come into the port. And then the cargo was too dangerous, but then it was brought in anyway. And then the cargo was taken to a warehouse, which I assumed that the reason you would do that is because it would be under safer conditions than it would be on the boat, given the concern that was expressed for it. The thing here is that this is ammonium nitrate. It is an explosive. One of the most notable incidents was the Oklahoma City bombing, when ammonium nitrate was first used as a device of terror against a lone individual who had a gripe against the United States government. So this is very much clearly a weapon. Now, there's a lot of things that you could consider in this situation. Ammonium nitrate is very expensive. Not only is it expensive, it's also very useful. Anything that you would need an explosive for, you could use it in mining. You could use it in weapons manufacturing. It's a versatile explosive that is very useful and can be particularly expensive. So I imagine that maybe various forces didn't want to give it up because of the value of the cargo itself, and that as a result, maybe some safety measures were overlooked, or maybe some procedures were not followed for that particular case. And we ended up in a situation, unfortunately, where this explosion did happen, and my condolences to the victims, the families, and to the people of Beirut who have suffered from this. But I think this is very much a political situation, because this happens at a time when Lebanon's economy is in what many have described as a straight free fall. The currency is inflated a great deal. There has been a tremendous increase in poverty in the country for various factors, corruption, outside interference, some allege incompetence by the government, etc. So Lebanon is already in a very precarious situation politically and economically when this happens. I mean, this explosion took place in a port, and ports are, well, they're essential for trade, and a great deal of that ability to transport goods in and out of the country has been hit and reduced to rubble by this explosion, which is only going to cause a further unknown but tremendous amount of economic damage to the country. So this is going to be affecting them for a very long time, because it'll be very difficult to replace the amount of infrastructure that was in place in order to, as I said, facilitate trade. So this is going to have huge negative effects on the economy. And I could see that probably Lebanon will be taking aid in order to deal with the situation for some time. But thankfully, there are allies of Lebanon in the Middle East who do have sympathy for those who suffer from catastrophes and are willing to help, are willing to do humanitarian work, as you said, with the Red Crescent of Iran immediately responding to help those who have been injured and devastated by this case. But
Indeed.
when we consider the entire context of the current political and economic situation inside of Lebanon, when this is going to be very, very devastating. And given the severity of what has happened, I think it's very likely that the person or persons responsible for either proper procedures not being carried out, someone being careless, whatever it is that particularly specifically led to this catastrophe, that person is certainly going to bear the full brunt of the government in this case, because already many are questioning
Sure.
the legitimacy of the government as it is.
All right, let's go back to Mohammed